Imagine this, you have to leave everything behind and survive only on what's in your bug-out bag for 72 hours. No extras, no luxuries, no help. It sounds daunting, doesn't it? And it is. But it's also the most realistic scenario you might face, and that's why we're here to walk you through it. In the next 3 days, we'll navigate diverse terrains, face unpredictable weather, and make tough decisions on our movement and camp setup. We'll ration our food, source water, and try to catch some sleep amidst it all. It's not a walk in the park, it's a survival test. And it's as real as it gets. We're not staging anything here. No convenient caches of supplies, no ready-made shelters, no easy way out. This is pure, unfiltered survival. We'll be dealing with the same uncertainties that you might face in a real-life bug-out situation. And we'll be sharing all our experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, with you. As we navigate through these 72 hours, we'll be testing our preparation, our skills, and most importantly, our mental strength. We'll be putting our bug-out bag to the ultimate test, revealing its strengths and exposing its weaknesses. We'll be seeing firsthand how our gear performs under real-world conditions, and we'll be learning valuable lessons along the way. Remember, survival is not a game, it's a test of your preparation, skills, and mental strength. It's about facing adversity head-on and coming out stronger on the other side. And the best way to pass this test is to prepare for it. So stay with us as we embark on this 72-hour bug-out simulation. Let's see if we have what it takes to survive. Are you ready? Let's get started. Survival is not a game, it's a test of your preparation, skills, and mental strength. In the midst of survival, some items in your bag will prove to be life-saving. Let's delve into the gear pieces that proved their worth during the 3-day test. These items were not only compact and versatile but also proved crucial in the face of adversity. First on the list is a multi-purpose tool. This is not just any tool, it's a compact device that incorporates a knife, a can opener, screwdrivers, and more. It's like having a mini toolbox right in your pocket. The sheer versatility of this item was a game changer. Next is the paracord bracelet. Now you might be thinking, a bracelet really? But this is no ordinary bracelet. It's a survival tool in disguise. With up to 15 feet of durable cordage, it can be used for everything from setting up shelter to fishing. Plus, it's wearable, so it doesn't take up any space in your bag. Let's not forget about the compact first aid kit. It may seem obvious, but its importance can't be overstated. When you're dealing with blisters, cuts, or burns, having immediate access to medical supplies is a lifesaver. And of course, a fire starter. Even in the wettest conditions, being able to start a fire is critical for warmth, cooking, and morale. A reliable fire starter can turn a desperate situation into a manageable one. Finally, a high-quality water filter. Clean drinking water is a non-negotiable, and with a good water filter, any water source can become a lifeline. These items were not just useful, but essential. They were compact, taking up little space in the bag, and versatile, serving multiple purposes in various situations. They proved their worth time and time again, turning potential crises into manageable situations. So, when you're packing your bug-out bag, remember, the right gear isn't about the most expensive or the most high-tech. It's about what's practical, versatile, and reliable. The right gear can make the difference between life and death. Not everything that looks great on paper works in practice, especially when it comes to survival gear. Some items we had high hopes for fell flat on their face during our 3-day bug-out test. Let's dive into what failed miserably and why. First on our flop list was the compact folding stove. It was supposed to be a lightweight, easy-to-use cooking solution. But when the time came to fire it up, it proved to be a real letdown. It was flimsy, unstable, and took forever to boil water. In a survival situation, speed and efficiency are paramount. The folding stove was neither. Next was the solar-powered flashlight. It seemed like a great idea, harnessing the power of the sun to light our way. But we quickly discovered its fatal flaw. It needed a lot of sunlight to charge, and our test took place in a heavily wooded area with limited direct sunlight. When night fell, it barely emitted enough light to see our hands in front of our faces. Third on the list was the all-in-one survival tool. It promised to be a jack-of-all-trades, but it ended up being a master of none. The knife was too dull, the compass inaccurate, and the fire starter nearly impossible to use. In a real survival situation, this tool would have been more of a liability than an asset. Lastly, the inflatable sleeping pad was a complete disaster. It seemed like a great way to ensure a good night's sleep off the cold ground. But it was punctured on the first night, rendering it utterly useless. A good night's sleep is crucial in a survival situation, and the sleeping pad did not deliver. Each of these items seemed like a good idea when packing our bug-out bag, but they all failed in real-world conditions. The lesson here is simple. Don't be fooled by gimmicky survival gear. Stick to tried-and-true items with a proven track record in the field. Remember, every ounce counts in a bug-out bag. Prioritize practicality over fanciness. Sometimes it's the things we leave behind that we need the most. Looking back on our 72-hour survival test, a few items stand out as painfully absent from our bug-out bag. Firstly, a compact multi-tool. We had a knife, sure, but there were 1,000 little tasks a Swiss Army knife could have handled far better. Secondly, a physical map and compass. GPS is great until your battery dies or you lose signal. We also missed having a lightweight tarp. It would have made shelter building faster and more effective against the elements. And how could we forget a piece of luxury? A pack of cards or a small book could have been a game changer during those long nights. Lastly, we wished we had packed more socks. You can never have too many socks, especially when wet feet can lead to blistered feet. A well-packed bug-out bag anticipates needs before they arise. Survival is as much a mental game as it is physical. Our bodies are built to endure, but our minds are what truly guide us through the toughest trials. In this scene, we delve into the effects of fatigue, cold, boredom, and stress on survival. Fatigue, the first foe we encounter, is perhaps the most insidious. It creeps up on you, subtly sapping your strength and slowing your reaction time. It's not just about feeling tired, it's about the increased risk of making mistakes that could jeopardize your survival. The solution? Plan your bug out with ample time for rest. A well-rested mind is a sharp mind. Next, we grapple with the cold. While you may think you're equipped to handle a chilly night, the reality can be a harsh awakening. Cold saps your energy, numbs your senses, and can lead to hypothermia if not managed properly. The key is to have the right clothing and shelter, but also to understand your body's limits and the importance of staying dry and warm. Boredom, the silent enemy, can be just as dangerous. When your mind isn't engaged, it's easy to become complacent, lose focus, and make errors. Keep your mind active by setting small goals, maintaining routines, and staying alert to your surroundings. Stress, the final adversary, can be the most damaging. During high-stress situations, our bodies produce cortisol, a hormone that in the long run can weaken our immune system and impair our cognitive functions. Learning stress management techniques such as deep breathing exercises, meditation, or even simple distraction techniques can be lifesavers in a survival situation. The key to combating these challenges is not just physical preparation, but mental resilience. It's about understanding your limits and knowing how to push past them. It's about maintaining focus, managing stress, and keeping your mind sharp even when your body is weary. Remember, survival is not just about having the right gear, it's about having the right mindset. You're not just surviving the elements, you're surviving yourself. And that, my friends, is the true test of any survival situation. In survival situations, some things are non-negotiable. The core survival triad, fire, water, and shelter, are the pillars that hold up the structure of survival. But how well did our pack perform in meeting these basic requirements in a real-world scenario? Fire, the first pillar, is essential for warmth, cooking, and morale. The pack included a compact, waterproof fire starter that worked well in ideal conditions. But when the weather turned, igniting a fire became a challenge. The lesson? Always pack multiple fire-starting methods. An ideal mix would include a lighter, matches, and a fire steel. Next, water. Hydration is crucial for survival, and the water filter in our pack was a lifesaver. The ability to convert an unreliable water source into safe drinking water is paramount. However, even with a filter, finding a water source can be tricky. A practical alternative for arid or unpredictable environments would be to carry water purification tablets or a life straw. Lastly, shelter. The pack's compact tent was a great asset, but in harsh weather it was put to the test. A simple tarp or bivy bag may be a more versatile option, offering more configurations to combat various weather conditions. In the end, the pack met the survival triad in some capacity. But remember, survival is more than just ticking boxes. It's about adaptability and resilience. When it comes to the non-negotiables, consider your environment, anticipate worst-case scenarios, and prepare accordingly. A well-rounded pack will have multiple options to address each pillar of the survival triad. Remember, the goal is not just to survive, but to thrive. And in a survival situation, these non-negotiables are the difference between success and failure. Fire, water, and shelter, the three pillars of survival. It's not just about having these items in your pack, but understanding their importance and knowing how to use them effectively. Remember, the key to survival is not only what you carry, but also the knowledge you carry with you. Survival takes a toll on your body and mind. The physical strain of survival isn't just about heavy packs and long walks. It's the blisters that form from constant friction, the hunger pangs that gnaw at your stomach, the chill that seeps into your bones during the cold nights. It's about the sheer exhaustion that makes every step feel like you're wading through molasses. But the mental toll, it's something entirely different. It's the creeping panic when things don't go according to plan, the crushing loneliness of isolation, the fear that gnaws at your resolve. It's the constant battle to stay focused, to keep moving, to not give up. So how do you prepare for this? Train your body, yes, but also train your mind. Learn to stay calm under pressure, to think clearly when the odds are against you. Remember, survival isn't just about the gear you carry, but also the mindset you possess. Survival is a test of endurance, both physical and mental. So, did the bug-out bag pass the test? Well, the answer isn't as straightforward as you might think. It's safe to say that the bag held its own, but there were some glaring gaps that we need to address. The gear got us through the 3-day ordeal, but not without some serious challenges. The pack was too heavy, the food rationing was tough, and the lack of a reliable heat source was a major drawback. So yes, we survived, but there's certainly room for improvement. What changes would we make? Lighter gear, more high-energy food, and a better heat source would top the list. And as for upgrading your gear for real-world conditions, the key is to think practical. Forget the gimmicks and go for gear that is reliable, versatile, and most importantly, easy to use under stress. Remember, survival is not about the strongest, but about the most adaptable.